who wins your tickets can buy for their kids at the Royal Show.
Yeah.
So so it's a good time, and we're just hoping that with the Royal Show on and the amount of movement there is between country people down here, that they might hold on to that prolonged lower prices for a bit longer.
Yeah, well, let's hope so, because like you say, with the show coming up this weekend, we will be seeing an influx of people into Adelaide, so hopefully they can capitalise on it. Do we know why it's so low right now, the lowest in 18 months, as you say?
Well, internationally, first principles, there's really only two things that affect the real cost of fuel, and that's the world price for crude oil, and that's been slowly going down, and that's because there's a bit more stability in the market. We haven't seen all of the repercussions from the Ukraine war and all those sort of things have stabilised now. And there's also a worldwide risk that a lot of the countries will be going into recession. So the oil industry tends to keep their prices down to keep up demand in what could be a recessionary period. And we've also had the other second thing that affects prices is the strength of the Australian dollar. That's because all of our energy contracts are written in US dollars, and the Australian dollar's been slightly stronger lately. So the combination of two things, world prices coming down, Aussie dollar getting better, have allowed us to have these lower prices that then get passed on to the consumer during these low periods in the price cycle.
And it feels like prices have been this price for maybe, 2 or 3 days, perhaps. How long are we expecting it to stay this low?
Well, normally what happens is once they get down to terminal gate price, the wholesale price, and the average price is still a fraction above that, they normally go down there for about 1 or 2 days, and then they'll spike about 40 cents. So today's Wednesday. We're hoping that it'll hang out until Friday. But don't rely on that. But if you can get it, as you said, if you get anything in the low $60s or below $60, you're doing really well. So don't feel cheated if it goes on for another day or two.
Mm.
And for those who are smart enough, because our petrol cycle is about a fortnight. So if you're able to fill up like you did today at $1.61, say it does spike on the weekend and then takes another 2 weeks to come back down as the normal cycle is back down to about that $1.60 or something. You can actually, if you make that tank stretch 2 weeks, you can basically buy it almost at wholesale price all the time if you game their system.
And so that's what I was about to ask next. Our cycles, it for a while there, it seemed a bit all over the place, a bit choppy and changey. But has it settled down now? About a fortnight cycle?
Yeah, you're correct. 2 or 3 months ago, we had some really funny cycles, but the last 3 have been back into that regular sort of 14 to 17 day cycle, which is good for consumers. Longer cycles makes it harder to buy at the dead bottom all the time. And in fact, ACCC, not last week, the week before, put out a report on the use of fuel apps in finding the cheapest prices, and South Australia was the second best performer in that area. They reckon that motorists who were using fuel apps to find the cheapest prices were saving about $160 million a year as a group, or about $486 per motorist. So if you can be canny and use these fuel apps and always look for the cheapest price, then you can save a couple of bucks, and particularly if you've got two cars in the driveway.
Yep.
That's nearly $1,000 a year. You can save off the biggest energy bill your household's probably got.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I know it's about $500 on average saving per driver, but when you said saving $160 million a year, I thought to myself, well, look, petrol is expensive, but it's not that expensive that my savings are $160 million.
Well, we're very fortunate in that we do have as much as people grumble about it, the price cycle, it does help. There's kind of 3 types of buyers. The people who are rich enough that it doesn't matter. They just buy it when they need it. There are other people who don't pay for their petrol. These are, people with lease cars or work cars or whatever. But the rest of us who do have to pay for our petrol and are on a budget, it's a perfect way to be able to save money. It doesn't take a lot of effort. It's just a bit more habit forming, keeping an eye on it and kind of go, okay, I've still got half a tank, but it's so cheap today, I'll go and fill up.
It's a really good point. There's not much that we can control in terms of increasing costs at the moment. You can't control how much your mortgage or your rent is. You can't control how much your bread and your milk cost at the supermarket unless you're going to pick a different brand. But you can control when you fill up your car, and if we do have those fortnightly cycles, it is something that you can sort of monitor. And if you can stretch it to only fill up once a fortnight, then why wouldn't you? If you can save yourself $50 or $20 to $30 by the space of 2 weeks, it's not a bad saving.
Yeah, and look, particularly when pretty much all fuels are the same. They're all made to the same standard. The oil companies might say they put their special herbs and spices in to make them all special, but the reality is all the petrol's pretty much the same. It's a commodity. Doesn't matter what brand you buy. If you just shop on price, that's the best way to still look after your car, but also look after your budget.
Yep, really good tips there, Mark. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thanks for your interest, Stacey.
That's Mark Ballace. He is the fuel expert with the RAA, and as I say, 18-month low in petrol prices at the moment. So if you're thinking, I can save it for tomorrow, or I don't have much time today, I'll wait for the weekend, don't do it. Just fill it up. Take the extra few minutes, because $1.61.5 is what I got it for. As I say, if you can get it below $1.60, and you can in certain areas. I'm looking right now. Liberty in Port Adelaide, Ampol Foodery at Gilman's $1.59.9. Do it now, because we won't see these prices again, hopefully for a fortnight, but it could be quite a while until we see them this low. So fill up now, people. Fill up. That's your message today. Fill up. 8223 0000 is the number to call. Let me know where you've seen it cheap. Where did you get it? I got it on the, what was it? The Independent. I like to go independent for my petrol if I can. It was the X-Convenience. That's right, the X-Convenience at Unley on my way in. $1.61.5 is where I got it. Okay, but the phone number to ring for tickets, not yet. I've got 2 more clues to give away for Royal Adelaide Show tickets. 8223 0055 is the number when I tell you to call. What show bag am I? I contain hair extensions. Hair extensions. That is very creepy. Hopefully someone doesn't drop their hair extensions at the show. Just walk past some hair on the floor. Yuck, I wouldn't want to say that. But anyway, there is a show bag that contains hair extensions. And if you think you know it when I tell you to ring, the number is 8223 0055.
Mario Mayola Promotions and FIVEAA present Hooked on Swing, starring vocal sensation Kate Black, the Three Little Sisters, and crooner Chris Lloyds, together with the Boogie Woogie Big Band and Swing Dancers. Come hear the music of Benny Goodman, Cab Calloway, Billie Holiday, the Andrews Sisters, Glenn Miller, Nina Simone, and more. Hooked on Swing, Festival Theatre, Wednesday, October 2nd. Book now at Ticketek.
Her mum's on the phone while she's on her skates.
Careful, honey, don't get too close to the road.
She rides from the top of the driveway to test how fast she can go. And suddenly...
Wait, stop!
She's testing your brakes too. Stop and take time to ensure your car stops in time and the brakes are all you hit. Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
There is care in simplicity. Our experienced team understand that keeping things simple and easy is the best approach. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today. Simplicity Funerals. Easy, respectful, simple.
Are you living with heart disease or know someone who is? No matter where you are on your heart health journey, no matter where you live, My Heart, My Life is here to support you to get back to doing the things you love. My Heart, My Life is the Heart Foundation's free support program for people living with heart disease and those caring for them. Receive heart health information, practical tips and guidance tailored to your needs. Take the next step to living well with heart disease. Join today at myheartmylife.org.au.
We might all just be tiny specks of space dust, pinned to a hot, spinning rock in a constantly expanding universe we don't understand. But at least some of us are doing it on Aldi's electric mountain bike, just $769, and it comes with pedal assist. It's special you can buy at the Aldi bike sale this Saturday. Aldi. Good different.
The BTR Excavations Balaclava Cup, Wednesday the 11th of September, featuring special guest, Australia's favourite German entertainer, Hans. It's the biggest country race meet in SA. Marquees from $49 per person, with a range of hospitality packages. Transport available from multiple locations around Adelaide, the Barossa and Clare. The Balaclava Cup, Wednesday the 11th of September. Search Balaclava Racing Club on Facebook and online.
Can you tune that thing, please? Now that made a big difference. If your outdoor area is out of tune with the rest of your fantastic home, get in touch with Big Difference Home Improvements. Outdoor blinds, verandas, pergolas, carports, or a stunning timber deck. The Big D team will give you a free measuring quote, and you'll love their passion and service. Don't just make a difference, make a big difference. Visit bigdifference.com.au.
Her mum's on the phone while she's on her skates.
Careful, honey. Don't get too close to the road. Wait, stop!
Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
It's 12 minutes to 4 here on 5AA, live on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream. I want your calls this afternoon. When we started the program just after 1:30, you would have heard from Robert Sims. He's the co-leader of the Greens in South Australia. He's an MP in the upper house of State's Parliament, and he has a suggestion on enforcing the code of conduct for MPs. We've seen this happen federally, where the federal government has agreed to establish an independent parliamentary standards commission. This is an independent body that will look into MP behaviour, and if they're found to breach the code of conduct, could apply penalties which would include a fine or a docking of MPs' pay. Here's what Robert Sims had to say on the matter a bit earlier.
The big element that's missing for us is what are the penalties if a Member of Parliament breaches the code? And, you know, in lots of workplaces, if there's a code of conduct and you breach it, well, you face consequences. You know, you might get a warning, or you may even be dismissed if there's a serious transgression. But Members of Parliament really don't face their maker, the elector, until, you know, they go into an election. And say in the upper house, we have 8-year terms.
What do you think of this idea? I'd love to get your thoughts. 8223 0000 is the number to call. I'm all for it. I don't know why you would bother having a code of conduct if it's not really enforceable or there aren't any penalties that can be put in play. And it's actually something that was a recommendation from the Equal Opportunity Commissioner when the code of conduct was introduced. Keep in mind, we only had a code of conduct introduced for MPs here in South Australia in 2021, just a few years ago, because there are no sanctions. If someone is found to be breaching the code of conduct, there aren't any sanctions built into the framework at the moment. And it was a recommendation of Jodine Carney, the Equal Opportunity Commissioner, but it wasn't taken up by the government at the time, which was the Marshall Liberal government. So now that Robert Sims will be introducing this, or he's made the proposal in the upper house of State Parliament, it'll be very interesting to see if the Malinauskas government will take it on board. I'd love to get your thoughts on that. 8223 0000 is the number to call. I still have a Wallace Cinemas family pass to give away to the best caller today. We had some people ring up on it earlier. Here's what they think. Dave is in Blakeview.
If they sit less than 100 days, they get fined $100 for the days they're not there. Yeah, knock them on the head for it.
Faye is in Windsor Garden.
I'm like you. I'm all for this because if you or I, although you're working still, and that's great, but I'm retired now. But when I was working, if I was running late with no excuse for why, I would have got docked a quarter of an hour's pay.
Bernie's in Kensington Gardens.
I don't understand why we need to wait and see what the Canberra model looks like. I mean, surely we can be proactive and produce our own code of ethics and standards. Secondly, Parliament and the People Work Department is no different to any other workplace. And every other workplace in the country now has very, very high standards for the human resources.
So I think it's a great idea, but what do you think? Bill in St. Peters, hello.
Hello, how are you going, Stacey?
I'm good.
I reckon the problem with giving people enough power to write their own rules is that they'll write them so that they can get out of it. So the problem is that they have to vote on what their rules and how they're going to apply them, and that never happens in the workplace. There's an independent authority that actually probably needs to sit with the Governor-General or a department separate from the government, because they all know that they're all prone to misbehaving and they don't want to sanction each other too much.
Yeah, that's a great call, Bill. I mean, that's what Robert Sims said when they were introducing the Code of Conduct in 2021. The Greens actually moved to do this back then, to impose fines or sanctions if you found to breach it. Unsurprisingly, no one else supported the change back then, so I'd be very surprised if any other MP supports it now, but you never know.
Not very fair, really, but,
No.
you know, they just get away with it. Perhaps,
yeah.
you know, perhaps Pete can come up with something and actually take some action on it. That'd be good to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Thanks for your show. Love it. Love it.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye. Let's go to John in Port Augusta. What do you think, John?
Hi, Stacey. Go the power. But just on politicians, they annoy me. As a swing voter, if I see a good idea, I'll go for it. Not particularly left, not particularly right. But, you know, they are pathetic. You know, I get disillusioned with them, the way they often lie or don't tell truths, I should say that. Don't necessarily always tell the truth. And the way they carry on in Parliament, on all sides, no one's better than the other. They're a joke. It's one that nobody trusts them, and they're very untrustworthy. Thank you.
I reckon you get a lot of people agreeing, John. Thank you for the call. 8223 0000 is the number to call, or if you want tickets to the show, 8223 0055. Our What Showbag Am I competition. Your final clue coming right now. I contain surprise sunglasses. What are surprise sunglasses? I contain surprise sunglasses. All right, if you think you know what bag it is, 8223 0055. Timmy G's in the studio. Have you ever had some surprise sunglasses?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I have. Yes,
They just appear on your face?
Yeah, that surprised me when I got caught stealing them. Just a joke. Yes.
Good,
love the Raw
good.
Show. Absolutely love it.
It's fun, isn't
Always
it?
have as a kid. It's the smells. It's the familiar sound of hot, tasty American donuts.
Oh,
yeah,
the
that sort of thing.
donuts.
Yeah,
So good,
So,
so
all of that
good.
going on. The smell of the carnival. Love
Oh, well, let's see if Maria in Woodville South's going to be getting down to enjoy the sights and sounds and smells. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Stacey.
What show bag do you think I am?
Is it the LOL show bag?
It is. It is, Maria. Well done. I like that you said LOL. I would have said LOL.
You know what? It probably is LOL, but yeah, I'm a bit old, so I don't know the right name.
No, well done to you. You're going down to the show. If you're there next week, I'll be broadcasting from there Monday to Friday, so come and say hi.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll come to, is it the Jubilee
Yes,
Pavilion?
Jubilee Pavilion. Sounds good. I'll see you there.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Bye.
Is the surprise sunglasses a bit like the surprise bow tie? You know, when the water squirts out of it?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe it's something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah, that were the days.
Still a couple opportunities to win tickets on the drive show and with me
There is.
tomorrow. But
Yeah.
if you want to book, it's theshow.com.au, or you can head to your local Foodland. And by the way, before I go today, sorry, Timmy.
That's all right.
I am going to have an interactive lounge tomorrow for My Mind Matters therapy. It's going to be a really interesting one. It's an app and different learning experiences for people who maybe need some help enhancing their communication or developing some memory skills. Maybe
Wow.
you've got someone in your life who's non-verbal and they need some assistance. We'll tell you all about My Mind Matters therapy, so make sure you're listening tomorrow afternoon.
Sounds cool.
It is.
Listen after 4, got a really big show. Of course, Roey's just warming up after last night. Oh, he's got it out. He's raring to go. Got some more things to discuss tonight. But we've actually got the coach of Port Adelaide, Ken Hinkley, coming into the studio. So we'll have a bit of an assessment
Really?
on the minor round, and we'll have an assessment of where we're going in the major round. So that first game being Thursday night here at Adelaide Oval v Geelong. So we'll be able to have a little minor preview of that as well in there. Of course, Jimmy Bartell comes on every Wednesday, so we'll enjoy his wisdom on, and we'll trip over to the US Open too. Just find out how, well, the Australian, I think the men actually quite a few won got through the first round. So some good news there. I think a few of the ladies might have dropped out, but we'll get a full assessment of that happening. It's all happening on the Sports Show.
And some breaking news out of the Crows just in the last half hour.
Texmania is continuing. Texmania continuing. So Tex Walker has signed a deal and will continue in 2025.
All right. Full analysis on the Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G and Ken Hinkley in the studio. I'm excited about that. You don't want to miss it. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Spend more time enjoying life. With an ECH home care package, you receive